Well, as we think about communion today, I want to tie it in with our story of Zachariah and Elizabeth. As you will see a little bit later in our lesson, Zachariah and Elizabeth are participating in the prayer that was really a prayer of all Israel, as they were longing for the day of the Lord to come, where God would come and bring His presence and restore His people back to the place where they intended to be. Now, they may not have understood fully in their minds what exactly that would look like, but they knew that they were longing for God to come and to fulfill His promises. And Zachariah and Elizabeth were both very personally and also as a part of the corporate people of Israel praying that prayer. When we gather together to partake of the Lord's Supper, Paul has told us that we are also praying in a particular way. This prayer is, in fact, a proclamation. We are proclaiming the Lord's death until He comes. And as we've talked about in the last several weeks, this is something that we are longing for. We are longing for God to come and to make everything right, which has been so wrong for so long. And the great promise that He will do that is that Jesus Christ died, but He rose again. And so when we come together and we partake of the bread and partake of the fruit of the vine, which represent His body and His blood, we are proclaiming the Lord's death, but not only His death, but also His resurrection, which gives us the hope for our future resurrection, that God is going to make things right. And we are longing for that day. So as we prepare to take communion, and as we prepare to reflect on the story of Zachariah and Elizabeth, may we join our prayer to theirs, to the prayer of Israel, to the prayer of Zachariah and Elizabeth, and to the prayer of the church down through the ages. Lord, come quickly. Accomplish your purposes. And as we partake of the bread and the wine here today, may we remember that all hope is in you, and that one day you will fully accomplish your purposes. Reflect on these things here today as you partake of the bread and the wine.